Top of the morning, Dan Proft here. Earlier in the week, we discussed Chicago Teachers Union posting on X on the occasion of the death of Assata Shakur, who is a convicted cop killer. Today, we honor the life and legacy of a revolutionary fighter, a fierce writer, a revered elder of Black liberation, and a leader of freedom whose spirit continues to live in our struggle. That was the Chicago Teachers Union, Stacey Davis Gates, on convicted cop killer Assata Shakur. And when some folks found that to be a bit tone deaf, CTU responded that people are focusing on a tweet commemorating a history they do not understand and prefer to ignore or misrepresent. Well, excuse me, but she's a convicted cop killer. She was convicted. And then she escaped from prison and fled the country. Those things happened. That is not a history that is difficult to understand. The history, I think, that CTU, Stacey Davis Gates, is referring to is, of course, this Black liberation, which is just, dressed up cultural Marxism, which is what the Chicago Teachers Union is, dressed up cultural Marxists. So it makes sense. Here is what former CTU flack, now mayor of the city of Chicago, BLM Brandon, had to say about Assata Shakur when pressed.
What I can say, though, is that Assata Shakur is an important person in the Black liberation movement who has repeatedly claimed her innocence.
Yeah. Why? No, I know. Red was the only guilty man in Shawshank, too. For more on this, please be joined by Pastor Corey Brooks, senior pastor of New Beginnings Church. That's on the south side. Also founder and CEO of Project Hood. And he's about a month into his walk across the country. We'll talk to him about that, too. Pastor Brooks, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
It's always a blessing. Thanks for having me on.
So your reaction to those characterizations by, our city elders, if you will, the mayor, the Chicago Teachers Union, and how that message is received in your neighborhood among your peeps?
Well, the last thing that we should be celebrating is a Marxist and people celebrating socialism. That's not something that we should be applauding in America. The fact that we have leadership with our teachers union and with our city who are celebrating those type of individuals shows you the character and the leadership that they provide. And that's the reason why we need to do everything we can to remove both of them because that's not the direction that most people want to go. As far as it relates to our neighborhood and our community, a lot of people don't know the story, but if they did, it would really cause them to search their hearts and if they really understood the ideas and principles of Marxism, most of our community will be totally against that. And so for him to try to act as if she's a very important figure in our community, that's just definitely not true.
And so where do things stand with respect to, again, the people that you serve through Project Hood and through your church, New Beginnings Church? Where do they stand on what has been going on in terms of the public safety debate, both with respect to ICE and immigration enforcement and removing people in the sanctuary city of Chicago who are in this country illegally, as well as the prospect of using the National Guard to back the play of ICE, but also essentially to back the play of the Chicago police, even though it wouldn't be formalized when it comes to domestic crime in neighborhoods like the South Side.
Well, everyone in our community wants safe communities. There's no doubt about that. We want safety. We want the kids to be safe. We want our neighborhoods to be safe. We realize that we can't have flourishing businesses if we can't have safe neighborhoods. Therefore, we can't have jobs. So we want safety. The problem comes in how do we go about getting that safety? Our community is definitely split on the National Guard, definitely split on ICE. They're more in favor of ICE coming into the community to remove illegals than they are about the National Guard coming in. As far as ICE,
Why is that? Why is that? What's the issue they have with the National Guard or the use of the National Guard?
So the issue is how the National Guard is being portrayed by some of the leadership in our neighborhood. The Democratic, the far left liberals are presenting it as if it's some type of takeover, that Trump is somehow trying to militarize the situation so that it can benefit him. And that's the message that Pritzker, that's the message that Johnson, all of them are aligned with all of their aldermen, with all of their state reps. That is the messaging that they're putting forth. And that message, if you don't have anyone who is fighting it, it's going to advance. And so you see that message being advanced in our neighborhood over and over and over again, being repeated on social media, being repeated by other platforms. And they make the National Guard seem as if they are against us instead of for us. And that there lies the problem. The reason why we have more people who are in who are positive responses, ICE is concerned, is because they don't want the illegals. They stand on the side of, listen, we believe in immigration, but there is a law that you must abide by. You just can't come in and just do what you want and get in how you want. And they are upset that so much funding and money has gone toward illegals. And so on that side, they're more in favor of ICE. On the other side, it's kind of half and half about the National Guard.
What do you think about Chicago Flips Red? And is that an illustration of something that is bigger that's happening in black neighborhoods in the city, that you have black residents reconsidering their political affiliations, or is that not something that's really going on, in a significant way?
Oh, they're making advance. They're making strides. People are definitely reconsidering their positions with the Democratic Party because they failed them for so long and so often. And as a result, they now see the Republican Party as a viable option, especially the more that we have people who come out like myself and others who are promoting the principles of the Republican Party. They're starting to see how much more aligned they are. If we can just now get the Republican Party to come out and push a little harder and come into the neighborhoods and promote and push, I think we'll see even more of an advancement. People don't want to know what you know until they know how much you care. And so we got to show up and we got to be there and we got to show people that, hey, we're interested in making life better for everyone, not just people on the South Side, but on the West Side and everybody in the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois.
Yeah, but the thing too, it seems to me, is that it needs to be indigenous. I get we have to show up, but like people Republicans coming from the suburbs to the South Side only has so much value. It seems to me we need a homegrown Corey Brooks, people like you, from the neighborhood that stand up and do something like you're doing, but in this case, stand up and run for office and say, I'm a Republican and I'm running against the incumbent legislator or congressman or whoever.
Yes.
And I'm from the hood and I get it. And I get all the things, I speak the same language and I see the same things. I know the same things and I've experienced the same things. And this is the better way. And then, outside support like any candidate would need. But we just don't have the homegrown talent, political talent that is presenting itself in these neighborhoods.
I'll give you a prime example, and I agree with you 100%. There's a young lady, Christian Maxwell, who is running against Jonathan Jackson.
Yeah, I've seen her.
If there ever was an individual who has a great personality, super smart, represents all the principles of the Republican Party, it is her. I believe it would do the Republican Party good to get behind her, support her, even though it's going to be a hard thing for her to win. It will still help us to advance our cause. It will still help us to win people. She is the direct type of person that we need to have running, just like you're saying, for these positions. But if we can't get them supported and help, and I'm not just talking about finances, I'm talking about volunteers, I'm talking about marketing, I'm talking about information, getting them on the air so that people can hear their voice. I think when people hear people like her, man, it will change the tide. She's super smart, and I want to ask everyone to follow her, listen to her, and see what she's talking about, because she's the type of candidate that we need in our neighborhood to run for these positions, because I agree with you 100%.
Okay, all right, we'll get her, Christian Maxwell, we'll get her on the show. I've seen her stuff on social media. She does come across well. Okay, that's a good example. Let's talk.
She's Harvard grad.
She's what?
Harvard grad. For kids.
I'm sorry,
wonderful mom.
Corey,
Awesome.
you broke up. It's wonderful. Did you say she's a Harvard grad?
Yeah, I think she's a Harvard grad.
All right, we won't hold that against her. We'll still have her on the show.
And she homeschools her 4 kids, and she's a hardcore conservative. So I think she'd be great.
Homeschooling mom too. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's getting more interesting as you keep talking. Great. Okay. Christian Maxwell. That is.
Yeah, I think that's her name. Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about the walk across America. You're about a month in, as I said. How are things going?
Day 32 in Philadelphia, and we're headed toward Lancaster. Today we're going to be taking a break.
Are you going to visit with the Amish?
We are going to be visiting and walking with the Amish, so I'm really looking forward to that. And we're having a little small lunch at an Amish farm, so that's going to be great next week. But yeah, we headed to Lancaster, and then from there we're going to be headed to Baltimore. So today we're going to be taking a break. I'm flying back to Chicago because I have to go to Grace College at Winona Lake, Indiana, to get an award for the Alumni of the Year.
Oh, look at you! Congratulations!
So, yeah. Yeah, but everything is going good. We've raised $750,000 so far. We're trying to raise another $250,000 before this month of October is out. That's our $500,000 goal for the month. But we're so close to $1 million. So, and we're just a month in. So we're on target.
And refresh our listeners' recollection of why you're doing this walk across America. The money that you're raising, it's going to go to what? And
Absolutely. So I'm raising $25 million to do 4 things. Number one, we want to pay off the center that we're building. It's a $47 million facility. It's about 70% complete. People can ride by and see it. It's an awesome facility. We want that facility to be debt-free. Number 2, we're starting a school for boys. Everyone knows about the horrible teachers union that we're experiencing and the reading proficiencies and math proficiencies that are so low. Well, we said we're not going to wait on government to fix it. We're going to do it ourselves. So we're starting a school for boys. Number 3, we're going to be planning project hoods in urban and rural areas across the country, like Lancaster and Philadelphia, places that need a project hood to focus on the issues of their neighborhood so every block can make a comeback. And then number 4, we're going to start an endowment so that we don't have to depend on government. Our goal is to have an organization that does not have to depend on government support. So we need to get in front of people and let them know what we're doing. So people can go to projecthood.org, projecthood.org.
All right, Walk Across America, that's what Pastor Corey Brooks is doing, projecthood.org, if you want to support that and what that money he's raising is going towards, as he just explained. Corey Brooks is the senior pastor of New Beginnings Church on the South Side, founder and CEO of Project Hood. Again, projecthood.org. Corey, thanks for joining us as always, and
thank you.
Be safe on the road. Enjoy the Amish.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, thanks. All right.
Take care. And you join us on the Turnkey.Pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
At AlmostFreeTeeth.com, they're dedicated to making smiles great again. If you have